Lombardi loved football players. Chris Hanburger was a great football player. When he come on that football field, we all knew it, okay? Because he came in a little bit late because he didn't want to do all the exercises that we had to do. And so we were worried about how much money he was making coming out of North Carolina or wherever he came from. But it was just such a great time in football.
Talking about Coach Lombardi, he had told us in a meeting to go around the field 3 times, one of the practice fields, 3 times before practice. So I used to go out and walk around the field 3 times. And prior to practice officially beginning, he would ride around in his little golf cart and visit the quarterbacks taking snaps and dropbacks and things like that, and watch the punter kick a few balls. And so I'm walking around, he pulls up and he said, Mister. He called everybody, because he didn't know what everybody's name was. And I said, yes, sir. And he said, how come you just walk around this field? And I said, Coach, in the meeting, you told us we had to go around it. You didn't tell us how to go around it. And he just shook his head, got a big grin, and he said, God, I have mellowed. And I said, but Coach, I'll jog around, because all the other players were jogging around. But I thought, why should I wear myself out before practice starts?
So you challenged Lombardi, huh, a little bit?
I don't know that I challenged him. I was just going on what the man said.
Took him literally.
Yeah.
Well, he was, you know, he waited to the right time to do things down on the field. Okay, Lombardi, nobody ever challenged Lombardi, right?
No.
And Lombardi said to me in a meeting, right? He said, you like that Chris Hanburger? I said, well, what's wrong? He said, well, he doesn't run around the field. I said, well, why don't you make him run around the field? Okay, he's a rookie, okay, Coach? And he said, oh, I knew you'd say that. I said, yeah, because I'm not going to run around the field. And
Who delivered more pain, you or him?
I went to bed early. I don't know where the hell he went.
If it wasn't for me, his career would have ended 2 years prior to when it did.
Well, how's that?
Well, I babysat him.
Yeah. He took on the blockers and I made the tackle.
Did he have a hard time with curfew?
Oh, no. I always had him tucked in and
He
in
was
bed by time.
He
I
was
had to,
like the Army.
I had to get him up every morning, make sure he got dressed, make sure he went to breakfast. And usually he could handle lunch on his own. And dinner he would make on time, but then I had to follow him around in the evening to make sure I got him back in the room and tucked in for bed check.
That's why he got paid a lot of money to take care of me.
Yeah.
What did you think of him when he first showed up?
I was happy. I had somebody on the outside of me that could play with he and I together, and by God, we did. And we took a lot of guys apart. He come from the outside, and I come up the middle, and no trespassing. And we hit him, and we knocked them down. They start changing the rules because of he and I, of what we did on the field. And he was the best. I got there late, but I got there.
What'd you think of him when you first saw him?
Well, it was all new to me, to be honest with you. I never followed professional football when I was in college. I was totally shocked when I found out that I'd been drafted by the Redskins. But I do remember in training camp, Sam came up to me after maybe 3 weeks up there, and he said, look, you keep doing things as well as you can, because you've got a good chance to make this club, especially on special teams. And that was a big thrill to have somebody like Sam, who I never even knew anything about him until I got to training camp, come up and tell me that.
You were known as a super smart guy, I mean, you know, those of us growing up, and you were known as the most violent guy in the NFL. But a lot of people don't know that you're an academic All-American,
Yeah.
okay? And a lot of people who have watched his highlights know that he like to, you know, take guys' heads off. So what ways were you guys similar, and what ways were you guys different? You first.
Well, he was a hitter, okay, but he needed to learn how to play because he just came out of college. We were at Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I mean, you had no place to go. I mean, you had to stay within the university, and outside the university there was nothing, okay? And so I watched him come on board. And, you know, I was a linebacker and he was a linebacker. And when I saw how fast he was, I said, I got to get another job someplace, you know, because Chris, you know, fortunately, he was better on the outside, coming from the outside to get to the quarterback than me coming up the middle. And boy, what we could do then, and that's what I knew. And I would say to him, Chris, you got to go get him, right? It's third and long. You got to get him because our guys can't cover very well. And boy, I want to tell you, the two of us, we really put the Redskins at that time on the map at Carlisle, Pennsylvania. And there was no hesitation. And he was the best that I've ever played with. I mean, he wanted to get the quarterback down before I got in there. And, you know, and he said, where were you? I said, I was trying to catch you.
Chris, what'd you learn from him? Young guy, didn't know anything about the NFL, and he's the, everybody knew who Sam Huff was back then. He was one of the top superstars in the NFL. What'd you learn from him?
Well, I knew that I was smarter, better looking, and faster.
Yeah.
No.
And he made a lot more money.
No, Sam, I picked up what was going on pretty quick. Of course, I'd been in the Army for 2 years before I even went to college, so I was a little older than the other rookies there. And my philosophy going up there was just that it's a great chance, and I'm going to do the best that I can. But I'm not, if it doesn't work out here, I'm not going to quit here. I'll go find somewhere other team that I can give a shot to. But I picked up the system and just tried to do the best I could. And Sam along the way would give me a few pointers. Of course, the one thing that I never let him teach me was his way of tackling. And I got to tell you, I've told this story so many times. We're playing in Pittsburgh one year. And just before the half, Sam makes a tackle and kind of gets his bell rung a little bit. Well, now we come back out in the second half, and Sam makes this classic tackle. I think it was their fullback. One-on-one, man. Sam slams into the guy, and Sam goes down like somebody took a sledgehammer and popped him in the head with it. And I was afraid. I went over right away because I was kind of afraid that he may have swallowed his tongue. I mean, he wasn't even moving. And so I kind of rolled him over, and I saw his mouth open, his eyes were rolled back, and the tongue was there, so I didn't have to worry about him getting a trainer out there to take a safety clip and pin it to his lip or anything. And I said, and I don't even know that he understood, but I said, when I rolled him over and saw everything was okay, I said, Sam, that's why I tackle high.
We also served on special teams. We haven't talked about that. Going down on the field from the 50-yard line, running down there, hitting the wedge, which is 4 big guys, bigger than us, but we had to run. And then you had to knock them over to get the guy who caught the ball and take him down. And I want to tell you something. He's here. Nobody could take him down faster. I wasn't hitting anybody. He beat me down the field and took him down and got up and said, where were you? I said, I was following you, which is true.
Well, see, I was trying to extend his career by doing that, you see, so he wouldn't get hurt.
Yeah. And
no, that's the teams we played, we had a good defense those early years. We really did. Mm-hmm. And I forget just how we stacked up because back with other teams in the league defensively, but I think we ranked right up near the top. But in the same token, the teams that we played, they had good offenses too. I mean, it was pretty competitive all the way around for the most part. And I think that had a lot to do with it because I think we had Sonny Jurgensen at quarter, we had Bobby Mitchell,
Billy Kilmer,
Charley Taylor and Jerry Smith. We had a good receiving core and everything.
Really did.
We never really had a great running game that I remember in those years where we could control the pace of the game and control the football. So I think that probably hurt us more than anything else. I mean, Larry Brown, who came on and played extremely well. I mean, that was one little tough guy.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things. And I mean, once the game gets going, you pretty much know how things are going to go. You really do. And it takes a few breaks out there also to come out on top. And well, I came up under Bill McPeak,
Right.
and then got I think it was Otto Graham, and then Coach Lombardi. I don't remember the exact order, but we used to practice not in the old RFK Stadium. We had to get dressed there in the stadium, walk all the way down through the parking lot to this raggedy field down there behind, I guess it was the old hospital or something down there. I'm not sure, or part of the jail, I'm not sure. But it was right on that river up there. Anacostia River, which isn't the, I don't know, it's probably worse now, but it wasn't the best smelling or clean looking thing. I sure wouldn't want to have to take a bath in it, that's for sure. And so then we get Redskin Park, which, I mean, you just walk out the door and you're on the practice fields. But, I mean, we used to have to walk down and walk back. I mean, you were worn out by the time.
I've heard him say this a million times. I want your thoughts on one of the sayings that he always uses is that offense sells tickets and defense wins championships. I've heard him say it probably 1,000 times on the broadcasts we've had. Do you believe in that theory?
I do. I really do. Because, let me tell you, offensive players, they're a different breed. They're sissies.
Here we go.
No. You know, like in training camp, when you can just walk down the hallway. All the defensive players are reading the Wall Street Journal and stuff like that. Offensive players, they're all into the comic books and the comic page, but things like that. But I remember crazy things and what Sam was talking about. We playing on special teams. We played the New York Giants in RFK. And I don't remember the score. It was like 80-something or 70, high 70s to 40-something.
71, 42, was it? Well, he called the timeout in that game, right?
I called the timeout.
To get the field goal. 72-43, something like that.
Yeah, it was
72 points we scored against my old team, the New York Giants, for trading me.
Yeah.
But if they hadn't have traded me, I may not have met you.
Well, that's true. So, but I mean, I was on all those special teams at that point.
Yep.
But then throughout my career, I was primarily on the punt team and just the field goal and extra point team, which suited me fine. But I'm running up and down the field, and I remember Sam going to Sonny, and he said, "Sonny, hold the ball for a while. We're worn out." And I was exhausted. I mean, all I did was just stayed on the field just about, because Sonny'd go out there and whip a ball to Bobby Mitchell or Charley Taylor for a touchdown, and then we're back out there again trying to shut them down, and then all the special teams.
When you told Sonny, "Hey, Sonny, shut them down, we're tired," or "Keep the ball running, we're tired," what did he tell you?
Well, hey, score and you can get out of here. Okay. I said, what do you think we've been trying to do? Okay.
Finally, you guys are both very tough guys, and I'll ask you the same question. I'll ask Chris first. Is there a soft side to Sam Huff that you've seen over the many years you've known him? And if so, could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, he should have been an offensive player.
Oh my God.
No, there is. He's just as compassionate as you can imagine. But when you put a helmet on him and a pair of shoulder pads, you better look out, because he won't back down from anybody. Never did and never will. And he's still the same way. Sam talked all the time. Oh, he would berate the offensive players, whether it was a back, a receiver, or a lineman. And I'm saying, "Sam, call the defense. We ain't got time for all this." But he was running his mouth the whole time out there and show no quarter. I never saw Sam help a opposing player up off the ground, and I don't think you should. They go down, so be it. And I think when you play the game, and I'm not trying to be a smart you-know-what by saying this, legally, you want to hit them as hard as you can, and you hope they leave the game, because whoever comes in hopefully isn't going to be as good as the one that just walked off or gets carried off. Makes your day a little easier.
He is my buddy.
Yeah, there you go.